All right, we made it to the summary of this particular section. So let's see what we discussed. We discussed or we explained how routing works, the process of routing, that you need a source and destination, layer 2 address, source and destination, layer 3 address, you need a port number. Obviously, if you're doing Ethernet, that's only where ARP exists. That's where only ARP exists. All right, and you also need a port number. All right, port number. Uh, if it's serial, there is no ARP. If there's serial, there is no ARP. There's a reason why I'm repeating this. Okay, so we talked about the process, the types of routing. We have default routing, static default routing, right? The whole purpose of static default routing is so that the router does not drop the packet if there is no entry in the routing table for it. Okay, it just sends it off to the next router. All right, we have also static routing, which you tell the router, hey, listen, these other networks exist. I know you don't know about it, so I'm going to tell you about it. That's what you do there. Then we have obviously dynamic routing, which is the RIP version 2. We have EIGRP, OSPF. We haven't gotten into those yet, but those are types of routing. All right, those are types of routing. And you need to know your network to make a proper decision, an intelligent decision on which routing protocol, if you choose dynamic routing, which one you're going to use. But as you saw, we use a combination of default routes, static routes, and a dynamic routing protocol. All right. We saw just now how to do a RIP version 2 default route, not a static route, but a RIP version 2 or RIP default route that will update all the other routers. Hey, this is the way to go if you want to get outside the network to the internet, let's say. All right. We did the passive interface, very important. That could be, if I were giving an exam, I will give that in a simulation. All right. That maybe you have an interface that is passive. You want in the routing protocol like we did, and we said, hey, passive interface, the F00, whatever, and then part of your network is not receiving any updates, so they can't get to you. So that causes an issue. So you got to be very careful on where you do these passive interfaces. So we did that as well, and then we talked about administrative distances. Okay, and this is why when we did the static routing, we did 150, because when we replaced when we not replaced, but when we did RIP, what happened? RIP took over. Why? Because RIP has an administrative distance of 120. So what? The lower the number, the more believable the route. All right, so that's what you got to keep in mind. All these administrative distances are tweakable. All right, you can change it, but by default, it is 120. And we were using the exit interface on static routes, that will be 0. So static routes will always win. So that's why we put in there 150. So that's the importance. And these are the things that we need to look at when we're networking. What is it that we're going to use? And all these little features that we see now and we'll see later on in the course that we can use to make our network more efficient. I'll see you in the next one.